I think that nowadays, because being woke has been an open door for hatred. I think that it's very important that we define woke
Yeah.
in each individual, because I think that in the piece that I wrote, I highlighted that Jesus was woke.
Sure.
I think that being woke is being awakened to the injustices of this world, not being asleep on it. And God is pleased when people are not asleep, when his people are taken advantage of. He called us to fight for the widow, to fight for the poor, to fight for the orphan. Like he's called us. So I think that's what being woke is. But I don't think that woke is an open door for hatred or to walk in godlessness.
Yeah.
Let's get the people what they want. The Wade O Radio Show.
This interview is brought to you by our sponsor, Devin Turner. This MC and pastor is not only putting out great music, but he's doing phenomenal work in his community and abroad. Check out his new album, Luminary, available on all digital outlets. For more info, visit his website at devinturner.org.
DJ Wade O, of course, here with my brother, Preston Perry.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man.
How you feel?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good to be here with you, bro.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, always, man. So what's been cooking with Preston Perry, man?
Man, on this tour right now, it's very, very tiring, but it's been very, very fruitful. God has really gotten glory. I think this is like our seventh stop in New York, and it's been tight lately.
Hey, man, talk to me about, I've as someone on the outside, I've kind of seen the evolution of this tour, but even, following you all the way back, Lyricist Lounge days and all of that stuff. But, man, just talk about the growth of this P4CM. I mean, I said P4CM. Lord have mercy. It's Poets in Autumn tour, man.
Yeah, man. So when we first started off with Lyricist Lounge and people first saw us on the internet, though it was big on the internet, people don't know, like, the poets, we were kind of like the people who you book for an event to, like, fill in when Trip Lee wanted breathing room. You know what I'm saying? Or when the Cray needed to, like, wipe his sweat off, throw a poet in there. So though we had, a lot of views on YouTube, man, it was kind of like that, but, like, just to see, like, now that we have our own arena and our own space, you know what I'm saying, where, like, God has really just grown the art form and grown the fan base with people. You get hundreds and hundreds of people to come out and hit poetry. You know what I'm saying?
Getting into the thousands of people. He being modest.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because poetry's always been kind of like this intimate type, cafe type thing. But now you got, big arenas for it. So it's crazy. We didn't think it'd be like this.
Yeah, I think, man, like, one of the things that I think you guys are doing is there's like a deep connection that you guys' fan base and audience has.
Yeah.
Because you talk about so many real issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I agree too. I think P4CM did a really good job of, like, documenting our life, like, early on. So people begin to, like, be very personable with us, like me and Jackie's marriage, us having a child, genetics.
I forgot about it. Y'all had that whole
Journey
series. I forgot about that.
Yeah, genetics with her journey. You know what I'm saying? Ezekiel always kind of really honest about his marriage and stuff like that. And then the poems. I think the Journey to the Covenants that the people saw was able to be birthed because of the poems, because we have very transparent, poetry. So when you have, transparent art, your fan base and your people feel like, man, they connect with you because they know you on a deeper level. So I think that's where you see, like, the deep connection from, you know what I'm saying? Because we were talking about some personal stuff, like, we ain't got no sense.
Well, and I think you guys started that before that kind of came, like, the thing to do.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And then you start seeing people doing it a little bit of the wrong way. Like, you ain't got to say that, brother.
Don't say that.
Like, well, we didn't start it. Jackie did My Life as a Stud. Everybody talking about some they lust demons and stuff. I'm like, but it's cool. It's cool. Got people being transparent. So,
yeah. We were actually talking about this a bit before we went on the air.
Yeah.
And it's how in culture now we're having to have so many different, like, tough, like, really tough conversations.
Yeah.
You got the race thing happening huge all over the country. You have, this whole thing with homosexuality and the LGBT community and all of that. And you guys have, again, kind of been discussing this for years, man.
Yeah, man. Well, both of those topics, we talk about both of those topics, particularly during this tour. Of course, Jackie talks about the homosexuality piece.
Sure.
But now you have transgender, you have gender confusion amongst, elementary schools. There's so much other crazy stuff. But the race part, I kind of talk about a lot on this tour because it's just been something that God has laid on my heart to talk about, to be real about. And it's. I mean, I've seen brothers in the faith walk away from the church, walk away from the faith because they feel like, they're not accepted by particular people, and it's heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying? But I think that God is a God of reconciliation, and I think that one, He's calling us to be honest with Him. Then He's calling us to be honest with ourselves, so we can be honest with our brothers and sisters who we are in opposition with, who we might feel who don't support us, or don't love us, or don't, treat us like we're made in the image of God. I think it's time to have, serious and real conversations and stop, cowering away from those conversations. Because if we don't have those true and honest conversations that hurt, it'll never be a reconciliation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think that's what we're trying to do. Not more so just inspire people with good art, but inspire people when they leave our tour to go back in their communities and have these real conversations about race, or have these real conversations about gender confusion or homosexuality, because I think God can do a lot with it.
Yeah. I one of the things that I was sharing with you before that's really bothered me is that while I understand, and I've even had these feelings myself, the anger that some African Americans feel because of these injustices, you know what I mean? Whether it be police brutality, whether it be, things that have happened throughout the course of history.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how do we control our anger in such a way that we can have these conversations without it being, contentious, but we still have the tough conversation and the dialogue, and it's true dialogue.
Yeah, I think it starts with conversations. I think a lot of times we can't control our anger because our anger has been built up and been pent in so long. I think that when it's finally time to talk about it, it's kind of like a
explosion,
right? Because it's like man, in one of my poems that I spit tonight, I said, "Are you terrified of hugging someone who voted for Trump on Sunday mornings?" You know what I'm saying? And that's a real fear. And I think that a lot of African Americans who are in the church, they have a right to be angry, right? But I think that the Bible tells us that in our anger, sin not.
Yeah.
And if we have or something against our brother, like approach him with it and tell him how we feel. And I think that we need to create safe spaces in our communities where we can talk about these things. I never forget last year, me and Brian Dye, we started having roundtable discussions around the city of Chicago.
Oh, that's dope.
With people from all walks of life. So around these it was about race. So you have 3 Hispanics at the table. You have 5 white people. You have 4 black people. You have 2 Koreans, and we just talk about our struggles.
Wow.
In that we face in this country.
Wow.
And I remember one time I went to one of the race table discussions, and I left feeling so convicted. I was like, man, I'm finna go here. I'm finna tell them how it is to be black in America. I'm finna convict everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And you left convicted.
And I left like, man, I didn't know Koreans went through that.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that what they go through in this country is nowhere near what I feel like African Americans go through.
Sure.
Because I don't think so. But at the same time, them able to hear my story, they were oblivious to it. But they're my brothers and sisters in Christ. So though some people out there who might be insensitive to my struggle as an African American, there are some people who don't look like me who I can educate, and they can begin to mourn with me as a Christian.
Sure.
Because I was honest and open and gave them a free space to talk about it. And I think that's what we got to do.
One of the things that you see with everybody in this conversation, particularly African Americans, is this whole notion of being woke. You know what I mean? I heard a poem that you have that will be out on a friend of ours project. I don't want to give it away yet.
Okay.
but
I don't think he wants you to.
I don't think so either. So I'm not going to give it away. But it's going to be out on a friend of ours project, and you talk about this notion of a woke Christian. Mm-hmm. Some people would say maybe there's no such thing as a woke Christian. I've heard some people say if you're a Christian, you're automatically woke. Like I've heard shows say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your take, man.
I lean more towards what Sho said.
Sure.
But I think that nowadays, because being woke has been an open door for hatred, I think that it's very important that we define woke.
Yeah.
In each individual, because I think that in the piece that I wrote, I highlighted that Jesus was woke.
Sure.
I think that being woke is being awakened to the injustices of this world, not being asleep on it. And God is pleased when people are not asleep, when his people are taken advantage of. He called us to fight for the widow, to fight for the poor, to fight for the the orphan. Like he's called us. So I think that's what being woke is. But I don't think that woke is it's an open door for hatred or to walk in godlessness. So I think it has to be balanced. But I think woke, when you define it how I feel like it's the right way, I think it's a righteous thing.
So do you think anybody could be woke? Like, could a white person be woke?
I think
Korean person be woke?
I think anybody can be woke. I don't think wokeness is synonymous with
blackness,
African
right?
American. Right. I just don't think that. I don't think that. I just that's my opinion. I just don't think that. Yeah.
I think I ask you that because I think it's an important distinction to think about, because a lot of times, sometimes when this conversation takes place, white people feel like I can't be in it, when it's like, no, we need you to be in it.
Yeah.
We totally need you to be in it. But it's like when that term woke comes up, they start thinking hatred or whatever the case may be. This doesn't concern me.
Yeah, because look at it, man. You have a lot of white people who probably don't worship or who are around black people on an everyday basis.
Yep.
And you have this thing called the media, which portrays black people as angry and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
But in the meantime, you have black people in the church who are hurt by a lot of white people because they're so silent about these things. And they're silent because they feel like, I don't know how to speak about these things. And I think a lot of black people are hurt because it's like, man, like we might not admit it, but we want our white brothers and sisters not to feel sorry for us, but to acknowledge our pain. And I think I don't think anything's wrong with that if we're true brothers and sisters in Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I think for my white brothers and sisters, what I want them to understand is that there are safe spaces where you can come and talk about these things and be free to talk about these things. You don't necessarily have to act like you're the wokest person in the world. You could just show compassion and acknowledge that I'm also made in the image of God and listen. You know what I'm saying? And I think man, the world can be opened up if we would just do that. You know what I'm saying?
I think sometimes too, man, we almost clown or we make white people feel uncomfortable when they don't know something.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, part of the reason why we gotta have a conversation is so that we can help you to understand this. But if we make them feel bad, they won't want to have a conversation.
That's true. Me and Jackie, we did the first Black History Month program at California Baptist University.
Okay. Wow.
And it was the first one ever. In the history of the school.
Wow.
And so after the show,
well, they called the right people.
Yeah. after the show, mostly white people stood up and asked us questions during the Q&A.
Sure.
And one white girl was like, "I don't think white privilege exists."
Wow.
I just don't think. Wow. I just think it's a made up thing. But did I get mad though? I think the Beatty said something good. He said black people have to start critically thinking their way through these issues and not feeling their way through these issues. Because when I heard her say these things, I could have immediately jumped in my feelings. Like, what do you mean white privilege don't exist? But I thought about it and I was like, man, she's probably came from a background where she don't even understand. Don't even have a glimpse to understand what I go through as a black man in this country. So I just politely educated her about the difference between when she gets stopped by the police and I get stopped by the police.
And that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's such a good place to start. I had someone on Twitter. I had retweeted the coach of the Spurs, Popovich. He had talked about.
He was saying some good stuff.
So you saw that,
yes.
right? He was talking about white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And someone replied to me, and we had a little conversation. He was like, "Yo, like, my neighbor drives an Audi. I drive a station wagon.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbor's black. I'm white.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any more privilege than that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the example that I thought about was what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he gets pulled over in that Audi, you get pulled over in that station
Absolutely.
wagon. Whole different ball game.
Because it's way deeper than just social or financial status.
Absolutely.
It's about when you get pulled over, are you automatically viewed as a threat?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And don't be black and urban.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost a done deal for you in some places. So I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's tough. That was the conversation when the George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin was a threat simply because he was walking with a hoodie on.
yeah, on a bike with a hoodie. Yeah. And automatically thought that he was suspicious.
He's suspicious.
You don't really see that happen in white culture. I'm not saying it never happened, but it happens frequently in black culture.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk about the number of times I've been pulled over, car's been searched, just all types of stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not even just me. It's, a lot of my friends, a lot of artists
Yeah.
that have been on this program with me
Yeah.
talking about it.
Real talk.
So.
Real talk. I encourage people to do that in their own communities, man. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy, but just reach out to people in your city who don't look like you and say, do you want to have a round table discussion? And I literally think it can change like the feeling of your city, because it did. You know what I'm saying? I sat at the table and we all just talked about our struggles. And when I talked about the things that I went through, 2004, we got caught with a white girl. I wasn't a Christian, so we got caught with a white girl in the hotel. They tied us up, beat us up in the hotel. I talked about how, I got money taken away from me. How about, I talked about these things in front of, my white brothers and sisters, and they could not believe it. One guy was like, "That really happened to you?"
Wow.
No, are you making this up? Like he literally could not believe it, bro. He literally asked me, "Am I making it up?"
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
I think it's so beneficial.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good, man. How's your daughter Eden doing, man?
Oh man, between
Got you wrapped around the finger, bro. That was that.
Let me tell you something. My daughter Eden, bro, is very cute, right? But she's at this age where she kind of like started to know she's cute. You know what I'm saying? It's like which isn't cute. It's like, look, you try to take advantage of me. It's working, but it ain't gonna work long. But she's a blessing, man. Like she's literally changed our lives in so many ways. That's my favorite person in the world. I mean, she tries to put her head in the toilet every now and then.
Oh man.
Caught her trying to drink bleach one day.
Oh man.
She's just so busy.
Yeah.
So busy.
She at that investigative age.
Yes. When she wants to know, "Daddy, what's that?" Like all the time. So yeah.
Hilarious, man. Hilarious. I know you said, man, that you really started getting a lot of traction on that poem you did about her, man.
Yeah. I couldn't believe, man. Like in 2 days, it got like 100,000 views on Facebook or something like that, and people really loved it. I honestly didn't think that the poem would do that well, because a lot of times when I put out stuff, that's like hard-hitting issues about sexual immorality or race or stuff like that. But I was just talking about my daughter. But I really wanted to make the connection about how her relationship with me, how my relationship with her has really like shown me how God has always kind of been a father to me. And so many people have been blessed by it. People who, who didn't have fathers growing up, and people who did.
That's what I was gonna say, bro. I think there's a hunger. There's a hunger to see more black dads.
Yeah.
Simply because, to your point, a lot of people didn't. I mean, you even look at what Belief's doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I mean, it's killing. You know what I mean? But the
He
reality.
actually helped me on the video a little bit.
Ah.
Yeah, he actually like tweaked some edits and stuff like that.
See,
So
that's
my brother.
Yeah, man. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's just that hunger, bro.
Yeah, and I got that a lot. A lot of people was like, man, it's a blessing to see not just a black father, but a young black father
Yeah.
showing and expressing an affection for his daughter. you know. And then I made the video. I wrote the poem and made the video because I want Eden to always have something to look back on.
Yep.
Even if I have more kids, I want like, man, like my dad loved me. You know what I'm saying? I might get martyred for the faith, and one day she can always have that.
She can
always,
right?
she can always have that video. You know what I'm saying? So, memory's sakes.
Yeah, man. Your writing process with your poetry, man.
Mm-hmm.
What like, are you the type like you get on the plane, you bang something out, you piece it together over time?
Yeah.
You sit down all in one setting.
It depends, man. Like with the Eden poem, like I literally wrote that poem every day interacting with her.
Wow.
So just like, and I think I always tell people, especially when I teach poetry classes, that forced art will always sound like forced art. So I always try to like be authentic with you know what I'm writing. And I always wanted to come out of a real place. So sometimes because I feel like true art is a reflection of life. I feel like sometimes your life is going fast and sometimes your life is going slow. Sometimes the situation might be drawn out. Sometimes the situation might be instant. And I always try to write when I'm inspired so it can come from a real place.
Do you have to capture it in the moment, or can you do you let it marinate?
Bro, people be thinking I'm crazy. I stop in the middle of the aisle in the grocery store and
And
start writing a line. Like if it hits you, you just gotta write. But I have finished a lot of poems on a plane lately. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a peaceful place to write.
Hey man, and you out grinding, bro. That's like the you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been fun.
So after this tour, man, what you got, brother? What's cooking, man?
I'm starting a clothing line called Bold Apparel.
It's time for that, bro.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. BoldApparel.com. It's going to be something separate. I'm also working with Ravi Zacharias Ministries on apologetics sometime in the near future. You know, just I really want to bring practical ways in which the African American community can interact with people from different races. That and just being a family man. More poems, more tours. We got the world tour coming up in spring.
That's so killer, bro.
Yeah, man. So
where y'all going on the world tour? Have y'all locked in the specifics yet?
Yeah. So in Africa, it's Johannesburg, Cape Town, Zambia, and I forgot the other one. It's 4 places, and then it's I think it's London, Manchester, UK, and then I think it's like Jamaica and some other places in Caribbean. I think Trinidad, something like that.
Massive, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all went overseas last year too, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, y'all went overseas
crazy.
last year too. Yeah,
it's crazy. They love poetry way more than Americans.
Wow.
Way more. They killing Americans.
Wow.
I love South Africa. I love Nigeria too.
Yeah,
whole Africa, whole continent lit.
Man, I'm happy for you, bro.
All right, man.
I say it's the end, man.
It's always good catching up with you,
always,
man.
brother.
You're a brother, for real. I love you.
Hey, man, thank you, man. Thank you,
man.
Hey family, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave us a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on what we were just discussing. Also, if you want to book me for your next event, whether you got a concert, a party, a youth function, a corporate event, whatever it is, send us an email. It's booking@wadeoradio.com. I'd love to DJ your next event.